Hey guys, welcome to the last video of Vlogmas. Thank you so much to all of you who have watched some of these videos, watched every video, just been here for the journey. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I don't think you guys can even imagine how much I appreciate you guys. I thought we would end Vlogmas with a huge book haul. It's been a while since I've shared one. Some of these books I've shared in videos here and there, but like since I've actually shared a roundup of all the books I've got, it's been a bit. So there's quite a few books here, although it is deceptive because there are a number of them for our homeschool, so they're not necessarily for me, but I still wanted to share them here anyway. Before we get into the book haul, I wanted to do a giveaway. So this time I want to do a year-long giveaway to my Patreon membership, my Windy Poplars tier, which gives you access to our monthly book club. You get 2 extra videos a month. One is underneath the Avonlea tier, and then one is the Windy Poplars video. Plus this next year you can also join in on our Agatha Christie book club. And so to join the giveaway, to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is leave a comment with the words Windy Poplars in there and you will be entered. If you are already part of my Patreon and want to join the giveaway, you can totally do so and I will reimburse you for a year's membership worth. So definitely feel free to join anyway. I don't know if I said, it's going to be for the year of 2024. So the giveaway runs from now until, I always have to pick a random date. Let's say the 28th of December. I will do the giveaway winner then. So pay attention to your notifications because I always just reply to the comment of the winner. So if you enter, pay attention. Okay, now onto the book haul. I'm not really going to go in any particular order, but I'll do the homeschool ones first in case you guys aren't very interested in those. Just get them off the stack. So I got all of these. These are Classic Starts books, and I've been getting these from the library for my kids, especially my 10-year-old. I love these new covers they've come out with. And one of the worst homeschool pieces of advice that I followed for a number of years was somewhere I read or was told that you shouldn't get your kids started on abridged classics, that they should just have like the true real thing. And I followed it and I think it's terrible advice because I realized with classics, it's not so much like the unfolding of the story that matters. It's the language and all, like there's so much more to it. And if you go into the story with a bit of a background, it will make the reading easier. So now I'm all about abridged classics, even for myself. So here's what I have. I got The Adventures of Sherlock. Of course I had to get my favorite book in an abridged classic. This is a retelling. I guess, I don't know, maybe they don't consider themselves abridged, but whatever the wording is. So I got that one. Then we've got Robin Hood. I'm actually curious about this one because there's so many different stories of Robin Hood. Next is Swiss Family Robinson. I love these covers. I'm totally obsessed with them. Okay, this one is The Call of the Wild, and it has dogs on the cover, so totally even could work for the Read Your Bookshelf challenge for January. Little Women. I mean, my daughter has already read the original, but I definitely want my son to read this as well, and I'll just get him to read the abridged one. I'm actually curious to see how this holds up. And then the last one is Anne of Green Gables, because could I pass up an Anne of Green Gables even if it is abridged? No, I could not. They do sometimes have other ones. I've seen Peter Pan. I haven't grabbed it. I really don't like the original Peter Pan story, but maybe I would like an abridged version better. So I'm excited. Whoops, don't knock over the camera. I'm excited to add these to our homeschool collection. These will end up at least on my son's reading list. My daughter has read, yeah, most of them, but I'm excited about these. Now the rest, we're just gonna go in random order. I got a lot of book outlet books. I went to my favorite used bookstore at one point, I think, and got some. I got some from Value Village. No, there's none from a used bookstore, just Value Village. But we'll start off one that my mom gifted me actually at the end of November. She gave me an early Christmas present and it's Emmanuel. An Invitation to Prepare Him Room at Christmas and Always by Ruth Chow Simmons. So this is an Advent devotional that starts on December 1st that I have been doing, and it is gorgeous. Like if you've ever seen any of her books, this has like her artwork in there and it's fantastic. I talked a little bit about this on my personal channel when I talked about my December Mother Culture basket. I'm not a huge like devotional person. I feel like some days are just better than others, and sometimes it can take away from reading the actual Bible, but I have been enjoying this. Some days are definitely better than others, hit me more than others, but I am enjoying this. And then I did a Patreon vlog a little while ago where I went and actually bought this book the day it came out and then started reading it, and that is Defiant by Brandon Sanderson. So this ended up on my November wrap up because I did finish it. Really enjoyed it. This is the last book in this science fiction series by Brandon Sanderson, and I feel like it was a good way to wrap up the series. I won't say much because it's book 4. And I shared this one in a vlog. This was sent to me by the author, To End Every War by Raymond W. Wilkinson. It says, assassinations headlined, revolutions smoldering, war without end. And this is a chunker. But I'm actually really excited to read it. So this will end up on my TBR probably really soon. I recently shared this one in a vlog because this was sent to me by one of my subscribers and patrons, His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik, and I still haven't read any of her books. Now this is the 3rd one of hers that I own, so I need to read some. But she said she liked it, and I find she's really good at recommending books to me. So because Charlene recommended it, I'm gonna read this really soon. This is fantasy of some sort. Oh, I didn't know this was part of a series. A rare bond is formed between a young man and a dragon, and together they must battle in the Napoleonic Wars, which is interesting to me because like historical fantasy is kind of something that I'm really enjoying lately. So I gotta read this soon. Actually, I might make it onto my January TBR. It's got like winter vibes with the white. Then these ones are from a book outlet. I've been curious about this one for a while. House of Salt and Sorrows. This is based off of a fairy tale. The 12 Sisters. I don't really know what it... I can't think of what the actual fairy tale is called. In a manor by the sea, 12 sisters are cursed. And I've heard good things about this one. There's also House of Roots and Ruin, which has the same kind of cover, so I'm assuming it's maybe like a duology, but I haven't heard anything about that one. But I've heard good things about this. You can tell that I've been in a bit of a fantasy mood here. Then I also got Belladonna. This is another fantasy book that I feel like I did my research on Goodreads, and so I think it should be good. For as long as Signa Farrow has been alive, the people in her life have fallen like stars. So she was orphaned as a baby. 19-year-old Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each one has met an untimely end. So I really don't know a whole lot about it, but it has one of those covers that has gripped me, and Goodreads reviews look like it should be good. We will just continue with some more book outlet orders. I placed a few different orders in the last month. I found this though. I am so excited about this. This is The Doll, The Lost Short Stories by Daphne du Maurier, and this book is actually on my list of 50 classics I want to read before I die. I've gotten this from the library before. I definitely have read the first short story, but I don't know if I've read any more. So I was so excited to see this. You don't see this very often. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 short stories that will probably be kind of like all in that gothic genre because that's what Daphne du Maurier does well. Hopefully they're all in that genre. Continuing with fantasy, this one's probably going to make it onto my January TBR as well. Winter, White and Wicked. I have heard good things about this duology. I'm not sure if there's more than the 2 or not. But the second book on Book Outlet is only on hardcover, and I'm refusing to do that these days. I want paperbacks when possible. Yeah, so I actually don't know anything about this, but it has been recommended to me a number of times. So twice orphaned, Sylvie has chipped out a niche for herself on Lacey, an island cursed by eternal winter. Alone in her truck, she takes comfort in 2 things, the solitude of the roads and the favor of winter. an icy spirit who has protected her since she was a child. I honestly have never actually read anything about it. I just know that it's been recommended to me by people I trust. Therefore, I bought it. Very different vein now. We are going poetry, and Book Outlet had another Morgan Harper Nichols book, You Are Only Just Beginning. This is Lessons for the Journey Ahead. I'm assuming this is poetry. Yeah. So I feel like her poetry is marketed as Christian faith poetry, but it's more self-helpy kind of poetry. But I love the combination of her poems and her artwork. Of course, then I turn to a page that has like nothing. Yeah, so this inspires me every time I read her poetry. I want to write and create, and that's kind of my goal with this, that when I read it, I'm also going to be trying to create my own poetry and artwork during this time. Very excited to read another one of hers. I think the second, one of her more recent ones, Peace something or other, I wasn't a fan of, so I'm hoping this one is like her first one, which I don't remember the title of, but I enjoyed that one the most. Now, another nonfiction is This Beautiful Truth, How God's Goodness Breaks into Our Darkness. This is by Sarah Clarkson. I have never read this book, oddly, even though I love the Clarksons, you guys. Although I don't think I've actually read anything exclusively by Sarah, but I have read a book that her and her mom Sally wrote together, and I preferred Sally's chapters, so I'm curious to read this. This says we live in a broken world. Amid the daily realities of sickness and isolation, disappointment and pain, it can be profoundly difficult to grasp the real goodness of God. But this is where God breaks into our darkness with beauty. Very, very curious about that one. This is a classic that I have been looking for a long time, and you'd think I would find it in the thrift store, in the used bookstore or something, and I never have. So when I saw this really cool edition on Book Outlet, I had to snag it. It is Oliver Twist, one of only 2 Dickens stories that I have enjoyed thus far. And I don't know, I really like this cover. I kind of wanted to see if there was other books in this edition. And then it's very teal inside, and the whole book is very teal. But it's not the normal like cloth. This is more of a linen. It's really cool. I don't really know why they chose teal when the cover is red and yellow, and it seems like a weird choice, but oh well. I also didn't realize that it was as long of a book as it is. Oh, it's illustrated. I read this one years ago, and it has illustrations. That's cool. So I'm excited to put this on my classics shelf. I can boast about having read this one. Oh, this might be a regret buy. I bought this before my library haul video earlier this month went live, and I think maybe I won't like this one, but I had already snagged it because I saw it on Book Outlet, so I'm going to give it a try. It's A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. So this has been both advertised as gothic and horror, and to me, like I really struggle with like figuring out how those can kind of be the same thing. I can kind of understand it, but kind of not. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try, but I'm guessing I'm not gonna like it as much as A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, and I think Nettle and Bone might be better as well, but I'll try it. This one was a gift. So I am part of a book club with a bunch of Christian booktubers, and we did a great Christmas book exchange, and Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails had me, and she bought me the Vanishing at Castle Moreau by Jamie Jo Wright. I read this one earlier this year and really enjoyed it. Katie also spoiled me. She crocheted, oh, I gotta show you guys actually. I'm gonna break her up a little bit. She crocheted fingerless gloves for me. She said they were supposed to be for herself, and then she ended up giving them to me, which as someone that can't crochet, I'm astounded by the beauty of them. I love the color. She's amazing. She also got me a bunch of other things like highlighters and pens and washi tape and a book sleeve, and she went all out. So thank you very much, Katie, for that. Okay, I also shared about this one recently in a vlog, another one I want to get to really soon. This is Lost Kingdom by Laurel Black. This is a fantasy story. I think it's YA. Trusting him is the only way to save the kingdom. Betraying her is the only way to keep them both alive. Stripped of her memories and her magic, Raven has been left for dead. Yeah. I'm definitely in a fantasy mood right now. So many of these I want to read right away. I found an Agatha Christie on Book Outlet. Every now and then I search, and usually I already own them all, but I didn't own this one, 3-Act Tragedy. I actually forgot that I had bought this one, and I only remembered after I did my like Agatha Christie tier ranking video. I was like, oh, okay, I own that one now. So this one is a Poirot story. It's actually pretty high on like the order. Looks like it's number 10 in his stories. So that will go in my collection to read. It didn't make it onto the list for the book club for this year, but hopefully I can get to it relatively soon. I want to space her books out and yet not take forever to read them. Now you can see that I went on a C.S. Lewis kick because he is my, oh, I can't remember what the word was, but he's the author that I'm really deep dive studying in my DIY literature degree. So I found the book Poems, which are a bunch of his poems, so I have no idea about any of these. Wait a minute, what was that one called? Of course I can't find it now. The True Nature of Gnomes. That intrigues me because I really want to be that old lady that has a bunch of gnomes on my front yard just for fun. So I'm gonna read some of his poems. Then this is Letters to Malcolm. This is Chiefly on Prayer. I had actually never heard of this one before, but being C.S. Lewis, I just had to grab it. I really don't like deckled edges though. It's not gonna stop me from buying books or reading them, but they're very annoying. And of course these editions are beautiful, but all have deckled edges. Then I found the last 2 books to finish out his space trilogy, and to be honest, I actually don't know how to pronounce this one. Perlandra? Is that how you say it? This is book 2. It's quite short, same as book 1. Yeah, I didn't love book 1, but I want to finish the series. And then I actually don't know if I didn't realize that this one is a different edition. That Hideous Strength is book 3. So it's significantly thicker than the first 2. So I will finish these at some point. Okay, down to my last 3 books. I got these all at a thrift store a while ago. Can't remember if I made a video on it. I think I did. Can't remember if it was just on Patreon, where it was. I got The Nine Tailors by Dorothy L. Sayers. This is a Lord Peter Wimsey mystery, so I'm just slowly collecting these when I find them. I got this edition of North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I have really enjoyed this story, and I love whenever I can find these editions somewhere at the thrift store or something. So I think I now own 2 or 3 in this edition. Definitely had to snag it. And the last one was English Victorian Poetry, an anthology, which will go perfect for my DIY literature degree because I'm studying the Victorian era, like writing in the Victorian era. And this has poetry by who does it all have by? Like Emily Bronte. I really like Edward Lear, Alfred Lord Tennyson, Matthew Arnold. I've never read anything by him, but he comes up a lot, so I'm curious. Christina Rossetti, Lewis Carroll, who I don't like his books, but I do like his poetry, and a bunch more people as well. So I'm going to add this to my Victorian literature collection. And there you have it. That is the end of my book haul, the end of Vlogmas. Thanks again for hanging out with me this month. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will be taking a little bit of a break here for about the next week, and then I will be back next week to share my January TBR. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas celebrating the birth of our Savior.